here one question is f of t is sin pi t. Then what is f of s? Laplace transform of f of t, say this only we represent as f of s. Then Laplace transform of this is this. Then therefore the Laplace transform of t sin pi t, right? So we studied one rule, right? What we studied? Laplace of, say, let me take a pen. See, Laplace of t f of t. What we studied, right? Minus d raised to n divided by ds raised to n f of s. This rule we studied, right? But what is f of s? F of s is the Laplace transform of this f of t, right? So Laplace of t sin, right? This only asked, t sin pi t, right? That is minus, here t raised to 1 only, t raised to n f of t only, this formula. Then what is n? N is equal to 1. Then d by ds of, understood? D by ds of, alright, d by ds of f of s. What is f of s? This Laplace transform of this sin pi t, this function. That is pi divided by s square plus pi square, right? That is minus d by ds of, right? So we can differentiate this, that is minus of, right? So denominator square, s square plus pi square whole square, right? Denominator into s square plus pi square, derivative of numerator 0 minus numerator into derivative of denominator what? 2s, right? This minus plus, this part is 0, then 2s pi divided by s square plus pi square whole square, right? So this is the answer, 2s pi divided by s square plus pi square. Option C is correct, right?